Hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and this video's out a little late. Unfortunately, it's been a very busy week for me, so I won't be going in super uber mega ultra level detail like I normally do. But we're gonna briefly go over the UFC 303 card. This card is goddamn cursed. As you know, we have a brand new main event, as you can see there, and I gotta say though, that main event is way better than the previous one we had. And because that main event fell through, they kind of decided, okay, well, we can't just have, slap Conor on there and say, oh, people buy it, because that's unfortunately the case. They decided, all right, Conor's on there, so we have to actually put on some decent fights. My only issues is that these decent fights are short notice. There's some of these fights I would have preferred, to be honest with you, to have like a full camp, including the main event. But regardless, this should be a very solid international fight week. I feel like they have a lot of low-key stars, a lot of big stars. I feel like this is going to be a good card. I feel like this, I have a good vibe from this, especially compared to the last card, the Saudi card, which I thought was meh. But regardless, let's get in the first fight of the card. And this is a very damn good first fight. Ricky Simone versus Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Simone is a great grappler. He's got a really good grappling skill set, but I've noticed his striking leaves a lot to be desired. Vinicius Oliveira, on the other hand, he is a fight or die. He is, I believe he's an Oliveira. I have to look that up. But he, basically, I mean, they fight at Shuto box and usually dye their hair blonde. But yeah, he's a very prolific finisher. He's one of those guys who does not fight for points. He fights to just, nope, he's not Shuto box. He fights just to go to the death. Very rarely will you see him get a decision. I think the last time he went decision was back in 2021. Beyond that, he should only have two decisions. He only has two decisions in his entire damn career. Those three losses he has are finishes as well too. He's never lost by a decision because he fights to the end. Ricky Simone, on the other hand, he primarily wins by decision. He primarily wins by control and grappling and such like that. But make no mistake, he can get a sneaky submission. It's just that I don't see him submitting Vinicius Oliveira, and I especially don't see him knocking him out. So what does that leave us? Him to win by decision while Vinicius has never lost by decision? It's iffy. It's iffy what's going to happen, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to lean Ricky Simone. I know a lot of people have been liking the dog money on Vinicius Oliveira. I wouldn't be surprised if he's no longer a dog by the end of it, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with Ricky Simone. It's just that I don't like him at minus 250. That's no. Rey Tsuda versus Rey Surya versus Carlos Hernandez. For such a weeb like myself, I should be able to pronounce his name. And I've heard it on the road to UFC before, but Surya versus Carlos Hernandez. Rey Surya is an undefeated Japanese prospect, and I really like the amount of fighters that have been coming out of that region. I think there have been a lot of good fighters in Japan that have just been hidden away that the UFC just never tapped, and Road to UFC has been a good job of bringing them out. And if you haven't watched Road to UFC, man, those are some good fights, man. But I just gotta say though, overall, I think Surya Taira is going to definitely win this fight. I think Carlos Hernandez is very tough, but I don't think he's tough enough to beat Surya. But I think he's tough enough to survive. He did go up against Tatsuro Taira, another guy coming out the road to UFC, a very big, popular fighter to come out of that area. Taira did finish Hernandez. I don't think Surya is going to be doing that. Surya is a more of a control game. He has very vicious ground and pound and some pretty solid submissions. He's very good in each. But I think Hernandez is a little too tough for Surya, to be honest with you. I don't think Surya is on Taira's level. If it does go to ground as a finish, it's going to be on Surya by TKO. But I think more likely is a controlling decision. So I'm going to go Surya by decision. Andrei Arlovski versus Martin Buday. This fight sucks. Andrei Arlovski, this has to be the retirement fight for him. He cannot keep going. I'm sorry. This is his 57th fight. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the new 2 no contest. 59 fights. So this is going to be a 60th fight. His 60th fight. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. And he's lost quite a bit in a row. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. And I don't care what anyone says. Waldo Cortez Acosta, blah. Got finished by Dontel Mays, blah. Got submitted by Marcos Rogerio de Lima, blah. Beat Jake Collier. Beat Sherman. The best guy he fought on this list, honestly, is Tom Aspinall. And what happened that? He's the first guy to go to the second round against Tom Aspinall, and only guy. No. But Martin Buday is also not good. If this was Andrei Arlovsky in his prime, back when he was UFC champion in 2006, I believe. Yeah, I would absolutely go with Andrei Arlovsky. But at this point, at this age of his career, he's probably going to lose the decision. Martin Buday is just unathletic, slow. I mean, he's got some power, able to knock out Shamil Gaziev, but... Nah. Sucky fight. Michelle Waterson Gomez versus Jillian Robertson. Jesus Christ, Michelle Waterson Gomez, she's still going. Another fighter who probably should hang it up. Jillian Robinson is honestly probably very close to it. Despite not having as much fights, I still think she probably should. She had a nice win over Poliana Viana, her last one out, but other than that, she's been losing to like Miranda Maverick, Talia Santos, JJ Aldrich. That's a bad one to lose to. And Waterson Gomez is on a 4-fight losing streak. I saw her on this card and I said, how the hell are you still here? This is a pick'em, probably go dog or pass, but then again, the dog is probably Waterson Gomez, and I'm not picking Gomez. Yeah, I'm not picking Gomez. Unconfidently Jillian Robertson, but I can see where she loses. This fight sucks. Get this out of my face. I'm sorry. There's so many better women's MMA fights you could put on there, and they're like, hey, we need to finish off the last of Waterson Gomez's contract. Let's put it up there. Next is, oh god, Payton Talbot versus Giannis Gamori. I don't like Gamori's face. I don't like his face. I don't like Talbot's tattoo. But yes, Payton Talbot is a very touted prospect. A lot of people are very high on him. Some people are flaming him for his questionable, he likes dance and stripper poles. I don't give a damn about that. He's a damn good fighter. I picked Cameron Simon to take him out the last fight, and I'm not. No, I've learned from that mistake. This guy's the real deal. Cameron Simon, a guy who hits pretty hard. His punches were bouncing off Payton. He is a tank at bantamweight. He hits very hard, devastating power. No round 1 finishes, which is very funny. I don't think he has no round 1 finishes, but when I remember taping, I remember he had like 0, like all of his finishes were in this. No round 1 finishes. Yeah. Now Giannis Gamori is pretty solid. I know he got knocked out by William Gomis, who William Gomis doesn't really knock people out. Yes, but he's still a very solid fighter. He's a pretty decent kickboxer overall. And then his grappling is not horrible. He's got good defensive grappling. Doesn't show it on there. It's just that Payton Talbot is better than him everywhere. Now, this Payton Talbot, I think he's going to win. I'm very confident in that. That is a high confidence pick. But holy shit. What was he at? Why is it separated like this? Where is Payton Talbot? Yeah, minus 1,600. Minus 2,200 in certain books. He's about to be the biggest favorite in UFC history. Giannis Gamori's not that bad. He's not that bad. What are you guys doing? This is not a Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage or Jeremiah Wells. What are you guys doing? Giannis Gamori at almost plus 1,000? No. Stay away from this. Stay away from this. Honestly, it might be decent to put a quarter of a unit bet or half a unit bet on Giannis Gamori. This is insanity. You guys are treating him like he's dumpster fire. He's just like he's average. He's average. Payton Talbot just is probably above average. Get that out of my face. Charles Jourdain versus Gene Silva. Oof. I believe a lot of people are very high on Gene Silva. Wow, Charles Jourdain is a favorite. Wow. Yeah, I'm going Gene Silva. Simple as that. Charles Jane, he's a very solid and fun fighter, but he doesn't mind his P's and Q's. He gets a little bit wild and reckless. His boxing can be pretty solid, but that's about it. Gene Silva's got power. He's got grappling. I think he should win this fight. So I'm going Gene Silva. Dog money. Now, Cub Swanson versus Touchy Fili. Another fight where I'm like, dude, you're gonna bro, there's gonna be a lot of retirements. Arlovsky, Gomez, maybe Robertson, Cub Swanson. Like, dude, you can't retire, homie, retire. Cub Swanson is decent. Was a really good fighter back in the day, but now he's an aged veteran who's still doing somewhat okay, but he's been getting finished a lot. Andre Fili as well too has been getting finished a lot, which is what makes it not high confidence for me. I'm not highly confident in Touchy Fili, to be perfectly honest with you, but I think he should be able to beat Cub Swanson. I think a finish is very likely from either guy, to be perfectly honest with you. I believe of their last three, Andre Fili has only been with only of their last three losses, Fili has lost by decision once, and same thing for Cub Swanson. And that was against Shane Burgos. But it was back in 2019. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Cub Swanson, he's still winning fights here and there. But if you have him go up against, I don't want to say Andre Fili is a touted prospect or even a prospect in any regard whatsoever. They're both journeymen. Simple as that. They're both journeymen. It could really go either way. I'm just going to lean in Touchy Fili just because he still seems less battle-hardened, less damaged, and he's a little bit younger. He's 34, still leaving his prime, and he wasn't out that good as prime. Cub Swanson is 40, he's well out of his prime. So yeah, give me Andre Fili by TKO. Joe Fifer versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I think Joe Pyfer is still decent. I was very, very let down from Joe Pyfer's fight against Jack Hermanson, but Jack Hermanson is just a frustrating fighter. He's also very frustrating to watch. I don't like his style. I don't care. But regardless, Joe Pyfer, I think, is still good. I still think Joe Pyfer can definitely take out Marc-Andre Barriault. It's just that Marc-Andre Barriault is very hard to take out. Very hard to knock out. Chris Curtis has some really good power to him. He could knock him out. Chidi Njokuani, who seemed really good at that time, but now it's just, I don't know. He was able to knock him out, which is very impressive. But I don't know. I'm definitely gonna pick Joe Pyfer. I definitely think Joe Pyfer can take it. It's not super high confidence, like a parlay piece or whatever. What are the odds of them? God, this is so out of whack, dude. These odds are just not right, man. Where are the odds for this fight? Why do you still have Chandler versus Connor? They don't have this fight. They really don't. Are you kidding me? Interesting. Oh, here it is. Oh, Pfeiffer's minus 305. Oh, God. I think he'll win. I don't like minus 305, but yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Joe Pyfer can get it done. I'm gonna take him by decision. It's gonna be 3 rounds. It won't be 5 rounds, so Pyfer won't gas out. And Marc-Andre Barriault is gonna be a lot more hittable than a Jack Hermanson. Just if he trades, Barriault can probably trade and hurt Pyfer. But I don't know. I'm gonna be like Joe Pyfer. I would love a knockout, but I'm just not gonna pick it. And on to the main card. And I actually have slides for this fight. Not the two after it, spoilers. But yes, Ian Gary is going to be taking on Michael Venom Page. Running through their stats, Ian Gary is going to be 26 years of age, 14 wins, not a damn loss, 7 knockouts, 1 submission, 6'3" in terms of height, so equal height for both of them. Orthodox stance, 74.5-inch reach, disadvantage, a 0.55 takedown average, a 58.07 significant strike accuracy, minus 140 favorite, significant wins over Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, D-Rod, and Song Kinan. MVP is going to be 37 years of age, 22 wins, 2 losses, 13 knockouts, 3 submissions. Wait, 2 losses, I said that right. 3 submissions, 6'3" in terms of height, switch stance, 79-inch reach advantage, a massive reach advantage for him. Jesus Christ. A 0.77 takedown average, a significant strike accuracy of 76.49%, plus 120 underdog. Significant wins over Kevin Holland, Douglas Lima, And that's really all I really want to put. Because to be honest with you, Bellator opposition was not the best. So yeah, this is a very interesting fight. It's a very fun fight. I like this fight a lot. I voiced my concerns about I've voiced my concerns, not concerns, but issues with the excitement levels of MVP. My main problem with MVP is he showboats too much, and he can have very slow and boring fights. Everyone's very high off the Kevin Holland fight, but I feel majority haven't seen his fights. He can make them pretty boring. Ian Gary can do the same thing if he wants to point fight and win. So there's a chance this fight could end up boring, but also it could end up being amazing. There's no in between. I think it should be solid. I like Ian Gary striking a lot. I know a lot of people crap on Ian Gary, say, oh, I don't like him, he's a cuck, he's a whatever. I don't give a damn. He fights frequently, he shows up to fight. I think he's solid. I think he's a great fighter, and I think MVP is also a really good fighter. The age is the main concern. MVP being 11 years older. Now, that does add for a lot more experience, having 8 more fights over Ian Gary. No, I'm sorry, 10 more fights. I can't do math. But age also means withering. 170 pounds, that's when you start to feel the 35, whatever age you like. That's when you start feeling the 35-year-old curse. And Ian Gary is a very talented fighter. That's why the odds are so close and leaning towards Gary's favor. But I could also see MVP just completely frustrating Gary and just being the better, more crazy, not crazy, but just more unorthodox striker. Just hard to hit, hard to touch. So it's worrying. I'm going to lean towards... See, and also the thing is too, like, I'm like, when a fighter outperforms my expectations and make me kind of eat my words, I'm very hesitant to pick against them. Because MVP made me eat my words. I thought Kevin Holland would take it pretty easily. I was wrong. MVP made him look easy. What if he does that to Gary? The thing is, Gary, I thought Holland would exploit the wrestling and grappling of MVP, and he just couldn't. Ian Gary, I know he has that in his back pocket. He's been training with Shuto Box and Charles Oliveira and also Craig Jones, so his grappling's got to be solid, but I don't know. I'll go with Gary's decision haphazardly. And then on to the next fight, which is Myra Bueno Silva versus Macy Shian. This is a decent fight, actually. It's a decent fight. I know a lot of people hated on Myra Bueno Silva for her last fight, but that's just because, one, she's going up against Raquel Pennington, who's still hasn't fought, by the way. It's been 6 months and she hasn't even been booked to defend her title. Yeah, that division's virtually dead. Goodbye, women's bantamweight. You're virtually dead. But yes, but Myra Bueno Silva otherwise has been a pretty exciting fighter. She's been a very, very vicious finisher. Only going the distance twice in the UFC. Oh, 3 times. I can't do math. But 4 times. Jesus Christ. She's been in the UFC a lot longer than I thought she was. Oh my god. Whatever the case is, she has tons of finish in the UFC. I don't really remember a lot of her decisions. I only watched her last 3 fights and there was only 1 decision. 4 fights. Sorry, I forgot. I watched the home fight. Ugh, I lost so much money in the home fight. Regardless, yeah, that was a like full card parlay that I almost hit, but I had freaking Holly home. And now it's a no contest. Regardless, Myra Bueno Silva, I think, is a very solid fighter. I think she's really powerful, and I think she has really solid grappling. Macy Shian, on the other hand, is very basic, but very technical in terms of her basic ability. I think she could definitely pose this, some issues if it gets to grappling. Because Myra Bueno Silva, we haven't seen a lot of her defensive grappling. Her offensive grappling is good. Haven't seen much of her defensive grappling. But I think Myra Bueno Silva should be able to take it. I think Myra Bueno Silva will be the better fighter overall in the grappling exchanges and more powerful. I'm surprised to see her as a slight dog. A lot of people will probably be pointing out this due to her cardio issues, but nah, I don't think there'll be issue being in a 3-round fight, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm going to be going with Myra Bueno Silva by TKO. Forget it. Alright, this next fight. Anthony Smith versus Roman Delit. Yeah, this fight has been cursed. This was the original co-main event way back when. It's no longer even remotely recognizable, and it's a short notice fight for both guys, and it's just, I don't care for it, to be perfectly honest with you. It used to be Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill. Damn, that was a great fight. Then it was Carlos Ulberg versus Jamal Hill. I was like, that's not as good, but it's still a great fight. Then it was Carlos Ulberg versus Anthony Smith. You go, I mean, it could be good seeing Anthony Smith get knocked out. Now it's Anthony Smith versus Roman Delit. Roman Delit fell out of favor with me after his last fight. He just did not look good. I expected a lot more from him, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought he'd do a lot better. I thought wrong. He just got absolutely outclassed by Nasruddin Imavov, and he barely lost to Marvin Vettori, in my opinion. But Imavov outclassed him in a very way. Anthony Smith, on the other hand, I'm not a fan of Anthony Smith, but he is also a guy that kind of made me eat my words, because I like you love to pick against Anthony Smith. Let's be honest, he makes it very easy to pick against him because of the whole on paper stuff. But I've been getting him wrong a lot, to be honest with you, because these guys make silly mistakes. Anthony Smith, I don't think he's as good as he once used to be. I don't think he's good at light heavyweight. He's an overblown middleweight. But the thing is, he's got veteran ability. And unless you really, really put it on him or are actually a talented force of nature, you're not going to get anything off on him. Khalil Roundtree, I was right. He would beat Roundtree, beat Smith. But Smith looked a lot better than I expected. And Roundtree, it took him to the 5th round to be able to finish him. Vitor Petrino, I ate my words. And I do think Vitor Petrino is the better fighter overall. He just made a dumb mistake and they run it back. I think he wins. Ryan Spann, I just think Ryan Spann is just not good. Johnny Walker and Magomed beat him. I don't know how Johnny Walker went to decision. Oh, I know, because he said he wanted to. I lost money on that as well, too. But Magomed Ankalaev beat him very handily, which I had very easily. It's hard to say, because then Roman Delit, after what I saw from him, I don't think he's the best, but he's a good grappler offensively, and that's all he really has, it looks like. Anthony Smith is a very bad defensive grappler. He really only has offensive grappling. His offensive grappling is very good, but his defensive grappling isn't the best, and he's very susceptible to leg kicks still. Roman Delit isn't going to be doing those leg kicks, but he'll be grappling, so I'm gonna. I don't want to pick Anthony Smith, dude. I don't want to pick Anthony Smith. I don't think I've picked Anthony Smith in all his last fights, but I've only been right about 2 of them. And I don't want to pick Roman Delit because I know damn well he's probably gonna lose this one. I'm gonna just pick Anthony Smith to get it done by submission. I don't know. Do I want to pick Roman Delit by submission? Wait, what's wrong with me? Roman Delit is not getting submitted. Give me Delit by decision. I don't know. I don't know with this fight, man. Smith he's a finisher. He's a guy who gets finished a lot too. So that's weird to pick him by decision. He has 7 decisions across all 50 fights. God, I don't know. I can't do math. I'm gonna go Delit by TKO. Smith's been finished double-digit times by TKO, so yeah, regardless. Delit by TKO, but not high confidence. What are the odds? Yeah, Delit is minus 148. That makes sense. And then we have T-City versus Diego Lopez. This is the new co-main event, and I love this fight. But I wish it was 5 rounds. I wish it was 5 rounds, and I wish they had a full camp. But oh well. Brian Ortega's going to be 33 years of age, 16 wins, 3 losses, 3 knockouts, 8 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height. Switch stance. 69-inch reach disadvantage, a 1.17 takedown average, a 40.39% significant strike accuracy, plus 125 underdog. Significant wins over Yair Rodriguez, TKZ, Frankie Edgar, and Renato Moicano. Brian Ortega is an absolute freaking tank. Oh, I have to go Diego Lopez's stats. Diego Lopez, the touted prospect that everyone and their mother loves now. 29 years of age, 24 wins, 6 losses, 10 knockouts, 12 submissions, 5'11" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 72.5-inch reach advantage. Not a damn takedown to his name, but he has takedowns. That's just UFC stats. It has to be. That's what my stat sheet says, and I'm looking at the exact data, and that is correct. But I don't know. 62.25% significant accuracy, minus 150 favorite. Significant wins over Sadiq Youssef, Pat Sabatini, and Gavin Tucker. T-City's a freaking tank. T-City has only been knocked out in a freak injury and by a standing, like a doctor's stoppage, by like beat down from Max Holloway, where Max Holloway broke the world record for most mass strikes. T-City's a tank. He's durable. Even though he rolled his ankle in his fight against Yair, he still managed to get the finish on Yair, which is insane to me. But now we're going into territory of, remember I said when I pick a fighter and I heavily doubt them, and then they like, I'm like, oh, I doubted them, they burnt me, I don't know if I want to doubt them again. That's for both these guys. Diego Lopez, I was definitely on him again when he was fighting against Gavin Tucker and Pat Sabatini. I absolutely had Diego Lopez. I remember my friends, all of them were on Tucker and Sabatini, except for one guy who like loves the dude. I'm like, no, these guys aren't good. Diego Lopez is decent. These guys are not good. And then, but Sadiq Youssef, I was like, yo, Sadiq Youssef is a way better striker. If it goes to grappling, Diego Lopez will win. But if it's striking, Sadiq Youssef will win. Well, it was striking, and Sadiq Youssef got knocked the hell out in under 2 minutes. So, he could do that to Ortega. No, he can't. Ortega's too tanky, man. Especially being 3 rounds. I definitely think it'll probably be a decision. Because I don't see Lopez submitting T-City. I don't see T-City submitting Lopez. I don't see... I could see maybe Ortega can knock out Lopez because Lopez is wild and reckless style. But I favor in the striking around Lopez, but I would see him knock out T-City. I think decision is very likely, but I don't know who wins. This is a hard and very interesting fight. I love this fight. I genuinely love this fight. T-City was my guy back in the day, but I'm going to go with Diego Lopez. I'm going to go with Diego Lopez to get dubbed by decision. Haphazardly so. Haphazardly so. And now on to the main event of the evening. I love this fight, but I hate this fight. Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prochazka for the light heavyweight title. Both guys stepping up on short notice to pick up Conor's slack. And that's just insanity to me. Absolutely insanity. These guys are Chads. They're warriors. And I'd like to mention, Conor McGregor pulled out for a broken toe. Alex Pereira broke his toe at UFC 300. So, yeah. And then Dana White says, oh, I don't know when Conor's fighting. He's going to fight when he's ready. There's something going on there. And I don't think it's a broken toe. All right, regardless, I don't care about Conor or Chandler's fight. Screw that fight. Fight sucks. Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prochazka is amazing. Now, but you also said, I love this fight, but I hate this fight. Why do I hate this fight? As you may have followed the channel, I've been a Alex Pereira hater because I'm a Jiri fan. I'm an Israel Adesanya fan. I'm also a Jiri fan. Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, and Jiri Prochazka are all my top 10 favorite fighters. I love these guys. So when Alex Pereira comes in, I was rooting for Alex. I especially rooted him to knock out Sean Strickland. I had some good money on him as an underdog. But then he got to Izzy. I said, all right, I just wanted a challenge for Izzy, get a good fight. He knocked him out, and that ruined my day. Ruined UFC 281 for me, which would be my favorite card of all time. Had just my favorite fighter not got knocked out in the main event. Okay, I got to see Alex Pereira get knocked out live. Great, cool. Then he fights Jan. I pick Jan. He beats him. I pick Jiri, he beats him. I pick Jamal, he beats him. I'm not a huge fan of Jamal. I like the guy, but he's not top 10. He's not even close to it. So it's another guy that I've picked against in the past multiple times. But this time, he's going up against one of my favorites. And also, like I said, I was a hater of Alex Pereira. I have newfound respect for the guy. I love the dude now. Stepping up on short notice, putting on nothing but exciting fights. Oh, man. Yeah, he knocked out 2 of my favorite fighters, beat one, but like, you know what? You're badass. That's some warrior mentality. But he's going up against the quintessential warrior, Jiri Prochazka. And I think Alex is gonna win. I really like Jiri Prochazka, but the thing is, Jiri Prochazka is the more well-rounded fighter overall. He's got the better grappling. He's got the better striking for the most part, main part. It's just that his defense is ass. The leg kicks and the left hook. It's honestly, he gets pushed through the leg kicks. Rakic was destroying his leg and he was fine. It's that hook. He can't take that hook. I do think that the stoppage was a little early in the last fight, but make no mistake, he was probably going to get knocked out. His defense is non-existent, but Jiri Prochazka is such a dog. He's so insane. He's such an unorthodox fighter. I love watching Jiri Prochazka fight, and I want him to get the belt back, but I don't think he can against Alex Pereira. I think he needs to be perfect for the entire moment up until he finishes Alex. You're not getting to the 5th round final belt against Alex Pereira. He will find the knockout. You have to be perfect until you finish him, which Jiri can do. He can knock out or submit Alex Pereira. That's why I do agree with the odds of Jiri being a slight underdog, but I think Alex Pereira is going to win it. I think it's his time to shine, and that saddens me. I would love a trilogy. Like, I'm sorry. I know I have newfound respect for Alex, and I'm saying, like, oh, I'm a fan of him now, but I would love a trilogy. Please let Jiri Prochazka win this fight. But if you're asking who I'm picking, who I'm betting Alex Pereira by TKO. I think the best bet for this is to go take... The short notice nature worries me about taking the under. Shake by finish. Probably Alex. Maybe Alex by finish. I think that's your best option. But yes, world-class kickboxing versus samurai fight style mentality, blocking punches with your head. Gee, I wonder who's gonna win. But yes, ultimately, I think this should be a great fight. And I think that UFC 303 is off for the better. I think this is a great card. I think I'm getting a good feeling from this card. I'm still really soured after the Saudi card, primarily Sergey Pavlovich's awful performance and Volkov's awful performance, in my opinion. I know he won the fight with Masterclass, but it also looked awful. Regardless, I have a good feeling about UFC 303. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comment sections below about 303. This has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.